Hello everyone. Thursday, November 3rd marked the 49th day of the ongoing nationwide uprising throughout Iran that has spread to 213 cities so far, as tens of thousands of Iranians held memorials for several protesters killed in different cities and clashed with the security forces. A strong evidence emerged that the clerical regime is losing the battle with the Iranian nation as massive protests erupted in Karaj, Arak, Fuladshahr, Amol, Qazvin, and other cities to commemorate the 7th and 40th days since the death of innocent and unarmed protesters by the regime's brutal uniformed and plainclothes security forces. The people of Karaj, west of Tehran, descended in the thousands on Behesht Sakineh cemetery, where they were met with brutality, gunshots, and tear gas by the security forces. The highway to the cemetery was barricaded by protesters to stop the suppressive forces. Protesters in Karaj marched and chanted against the regime. So many years of crimes, death to the mullahs regime, they chanted. Security forces shot and killed at least another protester. Some demonstrators retaliated against the plainclothes agents who were attacking them, and clashes ensued. Mrs. Maryam Rajavi, the president-elect of the NCRI, said, "Karaj, a hotbed of protests, rose up on the 40th Memorial Day of Hadith Najafi and Reza Parsadust, defying ruthless IRGC agents. Cries of Khamenei is overthrown this year resonate across the city as youth have exhausted armed guards, proving their aim is the entire regime." Fuladshahr in Isfahan province was also up in arms as protesters converged on Mahsa Amol's grave and mounted an impressive challenge to Khomeini's regime, chanting, "I will kill those who killed my sister." Qazvin, northwest of Tehran, also saw thousands of its citizens protesting the regime for the innocent killing of Javad Haidari, an unarmed protester. The parents of Iranian wrestling champion Navid Afghari, executed for participating in the November 2019 uprising, also took part in the massive demonstration to the cheers of participants who shouted Navid's name. In the city of Arak, central Iran, locals gathered to mark the 7th day of the killing of Behesht Sakineh by the regime security forces. The protesters in the rally began chanting, "So many years of crime, death to the mullahs, regime, fear us as we're all together." Similar gatherings were held in other cities. The city of Amol, northern Iran, people gathered to mark the 40th day of killing of a 33-year-old Ghazal Chalabi. In Rasht, also in northern Iran, locals held a similar rally marking the 40th day of the murder of Behnam Layakpur. Locals in Qasr Shirin, western Iran, gathered to mark the 40th day of the martyrdom of Afshin Ashams by the regime's oppressive security forces. They were chanting, "Death to Khamenei." In an important development in Washington, D.C., more than 2,000 academics from universities across the U.S. wrote to President Joe Biden, urging him to do more to support the Iranian people in their anti-government protests across the country, emphasizing many of these protesters are coming out of Iranian universities and schools as young Iranians take to the streets and face off against the country's brutal security services. Thank you for joining us.